Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going foraging, and we're going foraging for these two plants, and I'll tell you why. The other day my husband and I took a walk near our house. Well, I walked and he rolled in his new power wheelchair. I'll post a picture of him because I've not shared it here on YouTube, but he was able to receive a grant to give him an all-terrain wheelchair that allows us to now go walking, and he can even go on off-road trails and things like that. So it's made a huge difference in our quality of life because we don't feel quite so stuck at home. So we went walking down this road near our house, and when I came, this whole field right here was in bloom with this. This is called ironweed. Ironweed is a native plant that the pollinators love, in particular the butterflies. The other plant that we saw was this one, orange jewelweed. And you can see it's got these pitcher-shaped blooms. See if I can get it to focus. And the hummingbirds stick their beaks in here and drink the nectar. So I wanted to trial them in the garden to see if there was a way for us to have them and to make sure that they're non-aggressive. Not aggressive and they don't become thuggish, right? Because I'm already fighting 3 plants in the garden. I don't need a 4th or a 5th. So I want to trial them in one spot. If they do well and they don't spread aggressively, then I'll add them in other places. I really like planting native plants because I think our ecosystem does better. The balance of bugs that you have in your garden and the attraction of other bugs that are beneficial to the garden also helps when you plant native plants. So I'm going to be digging up a few clumps of this ironweed as well as this orange jewelweed. And then, now I know there are going to be concerns about me digging on private property. This is the shoulder of the road, so I'm not on anyone's property. This is public road, and what's going to happen is each year they come by and they spray, which I don't like, and they mow the sides of the road to keep the weeds off the road, especially this road because it's a dirt road. So all of this up to the electric pole, which is right behind me there, will be mown down, cut down, and destroyed. So technically, I'm only taking from the area that's going to be destroyed anyway. I am not going into the wetlands over there and taking from the native habitat. So I just wanted to clarify that. Also, I don't feel bad rescuing a plant that's scheduled to be mowed over. I've lived in this neighborhood, because this is in my neighborhood, for 13 years. 15 years in Georgia, but this particular neighborhood, 13 years. And I have never seen this much brush here. It is always pushed back into the woods. And so therefore, if I don't do this now, I know I'm going to come back in another week, maybe 2, and it'll all be gone. So that's why I'm going to do this. Now, I will tell you that they have several plants here that are native. They have a native magnolia tree right here. The sweet bay magnolia is right here. They have the ironweed. They also have the orange jewel weed. I want to say that's the name of it. Y'all forgive me if I'm wrong. I'll put the proper name on the screen and you'll see. I brought a bucket with me, and this bucket has water. So I'm going to dig the plants and put it in the bucket and then get it home, which is literally 5 minutes drive, and get them planted today. And then we'll follow up on one of our videos and I'll show you how those are doing. But for today's video, I didn't bring much. I have my bucket with water, my shovel, my tripod, and I lined the trunk of my car with a tarp to prevent water from spilling, dirt, etc. Depending on how well these do with transplanting, I may trim these back but we'll see how they do. If they droop a lot, then I will cut them back. If not, I will leave them as is. It'd be nice to get that deep jewel toned purple in the garden. Okay, so that's the first one. Let me get the other part. Okay. Looks like morning glories. I do not want that in my yard, so we're going to Yep, it is a morning glory. It's a pretty white one, but nope. If I introduce that to the yard, it'll most definitely take over. And I do not want that at all. This is the morning glory that's attached to the plant. All done with this. Let's grab a couple pieces of the orange jewel weed and we'll head back home and get these planted. So if you notice, I only got one clump of this. There's several here and there, so I took one that's on the road, and then I'm going to take one of the jewel weed that's here as well. I got two of these. Maybe I should get three. Don't want any of this here grass. And that's it. All right. I went and I dug up my orange jewel weed. Isn't that pretty? So I have 3 pieces of it. Now these are seed pods, and this is what worries me. You can see there are loads here. I don't know. We'll see. I may plant this in my back flower bed on the water where look at this. I love that. All right, let's pack up and go home. I'm done digging. I'm gonna get in the car. We'll get everything packed back up, head in the car and go home. I've gone on another street across from my house, and this right here, except for this, is all butterfly weed. And I'll insert a picture of it because I have some in my yard. I dug that up under the power line before they sprayed one year. I got permission and I went and dug that up. So I did that. Look at these ferns. They come through and they mow to maintain the side of the road. That's my car parked up there. And so all of this will get mowed and at one point or another. So you could see that there. We also have Joe Pye weed here, as well as some milkweed, regular milkweed. So you have butterfly weed, milkweed, Joe Pye weed, and ferns here that will be getting mowed over soon. So if I needed any in my yard, I would dig it, but I don't. And so I leave it. It gets mowed over and it comes back. At least the butterfly weed does, because it grows from a rhizome underground. I have watched the landscape change since I've lived here because they do this, and so we've lost quite a bit of native plants. And so I don't feel bad about digging it up. I've never gotten any trouble with anyone in the county because the mindset that they have is we're going to mow it over anyway. Go ahead and dig. And as you can see, I never take a lot. I just I take 1 or 2 plants, add it to my yard, and I'm patient. I wait for it to multiply. Now, I'm a bit out of breath because I just started exercising and walking again, and I'm going up this hill. So, anywho, thank you so much for joining me today as I went foraging in my neighborhood. I encourage you to forage responsibly. Never take the last of anything. Never take more than you actually need. And in all honesty, just take enough. Get permission before you dig, and make sure that the laws in your state allow you to forage. Until next time, happy gardening.